fuck. Welcome to this podcast that is not for children. Because I said fuck at the beginning. This is Holy Fucking Science. What is this podcast about? Okay,
you did it all wrong.
It seemed fine to me.
You say, hello, this podcast isn't for children. This is a podcast where four friends get together and try to make each other say,
Holy fucking
science. We just did it.
Now you go.
Sam's hosting.
Sam should
No.
That was it.
Hi.
Hi.
This is the
Today,
show.
We're joined by Sam Schultz.
Hi.
Of the lovely intro.
We're joined by Stefan, too.
Hi, I'm here. How's it going? We work on SciShow.
Mm-hmm. I work on SciShow Kids, too.
Yeah.
Often
Purple couch
forgotten,
is the
but
SciShow couch.
Rose couch.
Today.
This is perfectly the
rose?
same color as in Premiere. If you label it rose, exactly this color.
Okay, the Premiere colors are not what they
That
labeled
one's
as.
mango.
No,
Perfect
no.
match. It is. That's mango, though. I mean,
Well,
Julia,
Mango's orange.
is that mango?
On the
Sure.
mango couch, we have Valerie Barr
Hi, I work for VidCon doing stuff.
and Julia Maes.
I also work for VidCon doing stuff. This
Stuff
couch I would
doers.
say is mustard before
Mhm.
mango.
Not according to me.
It's a
mango.
little bit bright for mustard. This is good for a podcast where no one can see what we're sitting on. But if you go to youtube.com/holyfuckingscience,
The VidCon people are sitting on a mango-colored sofa currently.
You gotta
Viewer.
leave, if you will, gold
Listener.
nuggets for the people watching the live stream.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You
Gold
gotta
nuggets.
check out
Well,
the
it's also on
YouTube.
Well,
It's that
Yeah.
on that too.
little video nuggets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like and subscribe.
All right. How?
Smash that button.
So for, the obvious thing for determining the order would be like who had hangovers most recently.
We didn't
Wow,
say
we
what-
didn't
we
even
didn't
introduce
say
the
what the episode
topic.
was gonna
Oh,
be
we're
about.
talking about hangovers here on Holy Fucking Science
hey, I'm
today.
talking about hangovers.
Hey, we're talking
here.
about hangovers. Yeah, so the obvious thing would be to choose the order based on who had the most recent hangover. But you three went on a bar crawl
Yeah.
on
I didn't
Friday.
have a
definitely be
hangover.
Last
tied.
Friday.
I think.
I was fine. I was not hungover for that.
Yeah, V-Bar didn't get it. I don't think.
Who had the worst hangover?
Sam.
Oh, me! I always get the worst hangover.
Yeah,
This is the one I was gonna add. This was what I was thinking
Ooh.
we could
Should've
do.
just hosted this. What the
Who
heck?
has slept in from a hangover the latest?
I
that's
lost like a
interesting.
day and a half basically.
Holy
once.
What the hell?
Holy shit!
I mean, it was a weekend. I think it was a Friday night, and I didn't feel better until like Monday.
Oh yeah.
I didn't
okay.
sleep the whole time though. That was the worst and only time that has happened.
Oh, like you stayed up all night, 2 nights also? What do you mean you didn't sleep the whole time?
I wasn't asleep for 2 days straight. I just
Oh.
felt horrible the whole 2 days.
That doesn't count. What's the latest you've woken up after a day of crazy drinking?
I always wake up at about a normal time, I think.
What is the time is that?
Like, well, on a weekend, like 11 or 10.
Cool, okay. How about
I don't
you?
know if it was because of the hangover, but I've definitely like woken up at 4 p.m.
Oh, well, okay.
just in like in life.
Yeah,
I
because
was
you
gonna
stayed
say-
awake
oh,
until 4
yeah,
a.m.
But like, yeah. But there have been nights where I've been drinking and that happened, and there have been nights where I haven't been drinking and that's happened.
Mm-hmm.
I think
life.
video games is more the culprit.
I feel like we should have established our relationship with hangovers before we start talking about this, because I
Yeah,
have a bunch of questions for you now, but I can't ask them. I was going to
Is
say...
it going to give away your topic?
No.
Oh.
I was just wondering if you get them.
I do.
Okay.
I do feel like I'm less sensitive to
Yeah.
it.
Because we're like the same age, and I feel like you
Yeah.
get hangovers
I'm
way less
older.
frequently than
I'm
I do.
older.
Yeah, how much by?
So much older, like a year.
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, they're actually... Ugh, I won't even get into it.
What?
Sound
I'm scared.
effect.
I'm
of
going
that.
with 3. 3 in the
3 p.m.?
afternoon. 3 p.m.
Okay.
Yeah.
I tend to sleep quite poorly, and my body likes to wake up after maximum 9 hours, regardless of what I did to it the day before. So not super late. I don't like max 1 p.m.
Right.
Yeah, if
After.
we're thinking about it, like ever, I've definitely like not gotten. Oh, I haven't woken up until like 1 before, probably. But
Yeah, I usually wake up like at
I just don't
10.
get out of
This
bed.
has gotten us nowhere.
For me,
I know.
Yeah, we got concrete
I
times
guess-
for everyone.
I guess I'll go first, because
Yeah.
mine is, scattershot, like it normally is.
Okay. That's not based on the numbers. But
And I-
It's
that's
not?
fine.
And I'm
I
gonna
said 3.
he said
I
4.
said 4.
and
But maybe you should go first.
to compound
I
that, Sam, I think, definitely had the worst, most recent hangover.
Mhm.
That's true.
Because
That's true.
Yeah, you're
He
double,
and I probably
double
got the-
culprit.
drunkest together very recently, but
Yeah.
he bailed on activities the following day,
At 3
and I
p.m..
followed through.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you bailed on them first for a minute, and they were all your idea too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I haven't been hungover since we went to that lake thing for Sam's birthday.
Oh.
That was a while ago.
I wasn't hungover
September.
then.
It was like, yeah.
Usually, if there's like a big body of water for me to jump into, I don't get hungover as bad. I feel like take
was
a little
cold.
morning swim.
Is this the hangover cure that you're going to talk
No,
about?
I don't have a hangover cure.
Mm.
So I thought I'd start by talking about what causes hangovers and how if you look on the internet about this, nobody knows.
Nobody
which
knows.
was shocking to me.
Not
Unless
good
you know.
studies.
I mean, I saw art headlines that talked about this thing causes hangovers, and then the other headline is like, you read about that headline that said this thing,
Yeah.
but it's actually this thing.
Mm-hmm. And there's some things that blame like your kidneys get full of goo. And then
this is gonna be
Good
good.
kidneys, okay.
well, your kidneys get some chemical in them that messes up your whole body. Or there's like something that messes with your pituitary gland that doesn't let you absorb water. Did you read that one?
No.
That was the one. That was like the most convincing one I read. That there's something that when you drink alcohol, it gets into your brain and blocks these glands in your brain that let you absorb water. So then you can't, and then that's it. And then you
So
get a
it's still
hangover.
like linked to dehydration, is what
Yeah.
they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
But this is like the actual mechanism.
Was that
Yeah.
one something where it was the alcohol like processing was creating some sort of acid that was preventing you?
No.
Oh.
I
No,
don't
that's
think
the
so.
liver. That's the one the liver does.
All right.
It has to break something down that I have written down, but I'm not going to look right now. It has to break something down, and then when there's a buildup of it, when it can't break it down fast enough, it makes you feel really shitty.
Right. So there's that one, but then this one seemed to be at odds with that one that you couldn't absorb water. But maybe it does both to you. I don't
Maybe
really
there's
know.
a variety of factors.
Yeah, could be. Well, so I have such an intimate relationship with
Ooh.
hangovers that I had a lot of questions. So I had just kind of was answering my own questions, and that's what my thing is.
What does
So
that
that-
mean, to have an intimate relationship
He's hungover all the
with
time,
hangovers?
Yeah, I lay in my bed a lot and think about them.
Okay.
even when he's not hungover.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So I think that now that I'm older, you always say this, that once you're hit 29, your body...
No, 26.
26?
Yeah.
You moved it down.
That's when it starts.
Really?
No, maybe I moved it. Who knows?
But
You used to
29
say
is...
30.
Yeah.
No, 26 is when you start feeling it. That's when I
Okay.
started feeling it.
Can we? What's it?
Oh, that
It
your
just
body...
changes.
That your body
Your
starts
body
to fall
starts
apart.
changing at 26.
Yeah.
I mean, there's like,
Puberty too.
okay, there's
The
puberty,
squeakquel.
but that's the one that everyone knows about.
Yeah.
Nobody
This
tells
is
you that
adult
at
puberty.
26, like your knees start creaking a little bit,
Yeah.
like your back's. It's like if you sleep wrong, then it's and it's like not too bad, but
If you
then
start
every
to
year
eat
it's like a
sugar,
little
you
This
worse.
feel
sounds like a
gross.
very personal timeline.
I feel the same way as him, though. So...
Well,
We got two
not me.
anecdotes,
True.
so it's solid.
I felt bad. I've always felt bad.
Oh no.
How you feeling, Julia?
I have a crick in my back. Thanks for asking.
Well,
Yeah.
there you go. See, how old are you?
28.
Well,
That's
well,
how
we're
it
all
starts.
over 20.
I've had this crick in
100%.
my back for 2
100%.
years.
Just
now.
wait.
Really?
Just wait.
No.
oh.
Keep going. Sam.
Okay, so I think I get worse hangovers now, and one of the things that I read was that people who are 29 and up have less water in their bodies.
How?
I don't know.
Is that
just
how
says they
wrinkles are
do.
made?
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Could be.
possibly.
From your body just drying out.
Yeah. It's
Makes
I
sense.
don't think so. I think that's a decrease. There's something about the elasticity of your skin. Maybe it has
Sure.
'Cause
something to
it's
do with
like an old rubber band. Dry.
yeah. You're like you become an old rubber band. Yes, correct. That's how wrinkles are made.
God bless.
Tell your children.
So we don't know, basically.
Scare
is what
'em.
we're saying.
Scare them.
Okay, so there's less water in a body.
Yeah, so less water in your body. So the more you drink, the more your blood alcohol content goes up faster. So you just got less. You got less blood water. It's probably
I
true.
assume generally your body just is in worse shape because it's been doing stuff longer.
Yeah.
Well, and in particular, if you are like a habitual drinker, your kidney and your and your liver and everyone else
are very strong.
Yeah, it gets better. That's what
No,
the
no,
tolerance.
no, it's the
Work
opposite.
'em
It's
out.
better
not,
at handling it.
I'm not talking about practice. I'm talking about wear and tear.
Yeah.
So then at this point in my research, I started thinking about how we went to Amsterdam and I drank a lot, but I didn't get a hangover.
Oh,
And then I get that drunk.
That's
Are
very.
you going to talk about that too?
No, but
Okay.
I meant to look into this, so
Yes.
keep going.
So what I read was that it works one way in my head, but not the other way. That high altitude, this was a study I read about high altitude making people drunker.
Yeah.
So it's because there's less oxygen in your blood and that interferes somehow with like your
Wait,
blood alcohol
high altitude
content.
drunker?
You get drunker when you're in high altitudes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because of blood alcohol,
Yeah.
air content.
Huh.
But then some other researchers think that if you're at high altitudes, your body's just naturally altitude sick anyway, so then you react more poorly to the drinking. But that doesn't make sense to me because when we were low altitude, I could drink better.
We
So
were
it's
Yeah.
like-
superheroes.
Yeah,
at
yeah,
sea
yeah.
level.
Also, it was like all Heineken, but
No, but even still, like when we are in California for VidCon, or where we're like when I visit Portland or anything like that, any city that is a significantly lower elevation than Missoula, I feel like I can drink all of those people under the table.
I've only really experienced that in Amsterdam for me personally. But
Yeah. I don't drink.
we're just
in
like drinking
California too
constantly
much.
and not feeling much at all.
Yeah.
But it was, I don't know.
So what's up with that?
It's that glacier water, maybe.
They also don't serve you any water at all
Yeah.
there.
Oh,
That's
no.
The cups
true.
are like
Well,
a couple
yeah.
ounces, and then they don't fill it for like 2 hours.
Yeah. So by all rights, we should have all felt
Yeah.
horrible the entire time.
I did feel dehydrated, but not drunk.
Yeah. Your lips feel like that. That's how mine
Let's
felt.
do that
Yeah.
for a while under the mics.
Were you guys drinking coffee in the mornings?
I
Yeah.
don't drink coffee.
Yeah, like those weird little Nespresso Keurig things, you know?
In looking around at stuff for this, I saw a thing about people thinking that coffee was not actually much of a hangover cure, but because it makes you more alert, it sort of makes you feel like
Yeah.
you just feel better.
That seems like a lot of hangover cures are more like waking you up
Yeah.
kind of things.
Yeah, there was. Hopefully, this is not stepping on anyone's thing, but like there was a thing about bacon sandwiches. Is
No.
that-
No. but
Okay.
I mean,
I'm
more
listening.
broadly,
Okay, but-
greasy food.
Well, but if you read the art, so the headline was like "Bacon sandwiches are the hangover cure."
Oh,
but
I did
if you read
that
the thing, it's
article,
like
actually.
eat meat and carbs.
Yeah.
Just have a fucking meal.
You could have an egg
like-
muffin if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Or
Perfect.
a croissant
Or a
From
croissant.
McDonald's.
from McDonald's, a croissant sandwich.
Yeah, is that
as
a
we
thing?
discussed.
Did I make that
I don't
up?
know.
Okay,
you may
that-
have made
This
that up.
podcast is not sponsored by McDonald's,
I mean, not
by the way.
sponsored by Big Sky Brewing.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for the impending hangover.
Yeah. This is great for our hangover episode.
Yeah.
I mean, drink responsibly, and if you're over 21, enjoy alcohol, but don't go overboard,
Yeah. What are you drinking?
or just do what you want because it's
the
America.
orange one now.
This is Trout Slayer.
I got orange too.
It's got a cool color. These are they got new can designs recently.
yeah,
I like
they did.
them.
I
It
got
has a
this one you
dog.
can only get in Missoula. I
Yeah, the
think.
Montana
the Grizz
lager.
one. Yeah, it's good.
With our local college football logo.
But according to my research, lagers might give you worse hangovers
oh
too.
shit!
I
Why?
don't know
Yeah, tell us.
because of they're made with wheat. So some of the things I read said that things made with wheat give you worse hangovers, and some things said that things made with corn give you worse hangovers.
So
And I
it
couldn't
really
figure
seems
out
like
which
we
one was
don't
which.
know
It
too
seems
much.
like that.
It's not conclusive.
Did you get to the what's it called? A congener? Did you see a congener ranking?
I saw that word. Yeah.
Okay, so congener is a thing that is a byproduct of the creation of alcohol, and it's added to the alcohol creation process. So it's either like a congener can be like the cask that whiskey is aged in, or stuff that they make. That they add to create flavor or color or
So something
like that.
unnecessary
Like
to a
an
brewing
additive, basically.
product.
Yeah, I
or-
think so.
yeah.
I'd have to double check before the end of the episode because I do not know for sure. But and they said that more congeners means worse hangover, and that's correlative with darker. Like if you're looking particularly at liquor, hard alcohol.
Yeah.
So like whiskey or bourbon, a brown alcohol will give you a worse hangover than a vodka or a gin because they have whiskey and bourbon has more congeners in it.
Did you read about
Yes, and-
acetaldehyde?
And promptly decided that
Acetaldehyde?
wasn't going to be my topic because how the fuck do you say that word?
I've got that in mind
Acetaldehyde.
too, but I don't need to say it.
So yeah,
Acetaldehyde?
yeah, maybe, probably so. So that's like some kind of intermediate step in the brewing process that if you have something mass produced, usually they don't leave it in long enough for that to break down. And some people think that is what gives you a hangover. And if your beer smells a lot like green apples, that means it was like made incorrectly or something.
Ooh,
and that beer is
sounds
more
delicious,
likely.
though.
It does sound good, but that beer is apparently more likely to give you a hangover.
Stefan and I went to beer college a year or so ago.
Yeah, it's college with a K though. So let's get real.
I have a diploma and a sweatshirt.
Yeah, we got a sweatshirt.
We know about the
Letterman
different
jacket.
bad smells that mean different things. with
Yeah.
beer.
What other bad smells are there?
I don't know.
Congeners are
gauzy?
produced during fermentation. They're not added on purpose.
Oh, okay.
And and congeners include that
Yeah.
Acetaldehyde. I think that's
Acetaldehyde.
Acetaldehyde or
That sounds
acetaldehyde.
and like tannins, which is probably the most familiar word in this list.
I wonder if, because when you do like distilling, there's all those volatile products that come out first that have the lowest boiling points, and you're supposed to like get rid of those.
Yeah.
I've heard that if you leave too much of that in, that also makes it worse.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that this might be part urban legend, but that's partially, there's a particular measurement on a ball jar or a mason jar that came out of like the moonshine distilling industry.
Like this is the amount.
And so like you pour that much, it's like a half an ounce or something like that. You pour that much into the mason jar up to the certain line and then toss
That's
that.
cool.
And after that,
Then
Like
it's
off
good.
off the top of the thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
just like whatever the first.
Whoa.
Yeah, I've
that
brewed
comes
some
out.
stuff, and there's a lot of nasty stuff that
Yeah.
congeals on the top of it sometimes. Still fine to
Get
drink,
rid of it. No.
but
Is that thing still sitting under in your living
yeah, I
room?
brewed some ginger beer like a year and a half ago, and it's just under a
Throw
table.
it
Got some
away.
chunks
No,
in
it's
there.
gotta be still fine. It's got yeast in it.
I don't know what that means.
I don't know.
good or
It
bad?
doesn't look like it's still good to me.
No, that's also I put like actual ginger in it, and whenever you have anything that's not like straight up, like there's like a wild aspect to it, it can introduce other yeasts that are not good. Like if
You're
you,
playing with fire
Yeah, that
over
sounds
there.
bad.
I mean, I think it's fine. I'm not gonna probably won't drink that, and I don't think it will taste good anymore. But
Let's go try it after this.
Right now,
well,
let's get a
I made
hangover.
some cider before, and I didn't know how to test that. I didn't know about testing the different gravity, which is like the weight of it, to be able to calculate the ABV. So I think what I made was like pretty
Pure alcohol.
alcoholic.
100%.
No, it was
made
cider,
moonshine.
and there's only certain thresholds that the yeast can
Yeah, yeah.
like survive. They can't go past a certain point.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mixed it with Fireball, and then I got really drunk. I was very proud of
your
myself, though, because
Yeah.
I made it myself.
When did that happen?
Like 2 years ago.
Oh, okay.
That's awesome.
I fell asleep
Yeah.
on the floor.
Oh, that was that time.
That's a telling. Yeah.
You know?
If you're not in bed
Yeah.
by the end of it.
The
I fell
floor.
asleep on the floor at our holiday party after our holiday party. I was watching Sabrina the Teenage Witch. And took a snooze right on the floor.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have passed out in Hank's bathroom.
In a yard?
And before I lived with Val, I passed out in their bathroom.
Yeah. Yeah, you
and
had
it-
wedged the door closed, and I was really worried about you.
It's a very small bathroom too.
Yeah, it is a small bathroom. And yes, in a front yard one time.
Well, it's
Is
Julia's
bad.
turn.
Okay.
Wait. Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
that all you
I
got,
have
Sam?
other things to sprinkle in.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
All
I
right.
got to
You
sprinkle.
didn't really. I gotta say, you didn't really have a thesis.
Nah.
That's all right. Mine's a
Okay.
little loose.
I did.
Let's hear how good your thesis is. Started with a thesis statement.
Okay. My topic generally is about whether or not the myth that champagne hangovers are the worst hangover.
That's
And
a
I-
thing. That's a myth.
Yeah.
I had never heard
And so
that.
I know that we just talked about congeners and like dark alcohol versus light alcohol. So it's kind of like I've sowed the seed of this being a myth busted already. But to celebrate,
Julie just
What
wanted
you got?
to drink
Oh.
champagne, to be honest.
This is a gimmick.
I did. Okay.
She's
And
still
list-
got the paper bag and everything.
I know. I'll turn the label so you can't see that this
buzz.
isn't Big Sky champagne.
Ooh.
And also, I will say comment section real quick that I freaking understand that champagne is made in a particular way in a particular region of France.
Sparkling wine or whatever.
So don't actually me in the comments.
Where is this one made?
Is this a good time
Spain,
to
maybe?
talk about the soda stream thing you want to talk about?
Sure. I slacked Val and Sam earlier because I said, don't let me forget to tell you this soda stream story. So I was house sitting for my former boss, and they had a soda stream.
Mm-hmm.
And I love bubbly stuff. Like champagne is my favorite alcohol. I drink LaCroix and whatever other sparkling water all the time. And so I was jacked that they had the soda stream.
Great sounds.
You're
It'll be
welcome.
all right.
And I thought, I know, I'll make champagne. And so
I'll make champagne.
What?
Are you already drunk?
DIY.
no, I just poured, I put the canister like half full because they had a fucking bottle of Barefoot white wine in their
white
fridge.
wine. Okay.
And so I put that in the soda stream and just obliterated their kitchen. Like it honestly, like I thought something bad was going to happen is why instead of stopping myself entirely, why I only filled it half full and to like give more space for the carbon dioxide to exist, I guess. But it just straight up like volcanoed all over every single cabinet, into the stove, all over their dog who happened to be
no.
in.
Why does our dog smell like wine?
Yeah. Luckily they weren't coming home for like 2 days, but
Did you bathe their dog?
yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So I totally cleaned everything
How
up
did
and it was good.
taste?
Fucking
any
gross. It was
make it through?
barefoot wine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it didn't really.
Why did that happen? Because
I think you're not supposed to put stuff with sugar
You're really not supposed to
in a
put
soda
anything
stream.
in
Yeah, you're not
soda.
supposed to put
Yeah.
anything but
Just
water.
Okay.
All right, for the sound effect.
Oh.
Happy New
Nice.
Year.
You're a pro.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also brought glasses. I didn't just bring this to like make a sound.
You got
My
glasses
beer's
from
half
the
empty.
work kitchen.
Go for it.
What's that one called?
Top it off. Which one? My beer?
A mix of
Oh,
beer
half
and
beer,
champagne.
half champagne. A
Bad.
champier.
Oh.
A champier.
How about a Bane?
Ooh.
That is untenable.
like it. That just reminded me of the time that we were at the Badlander, and what did I order? It was like I said the
A
ingredients,
sea breeze.
and then some old guy at the bar was like, "That's a sea breeze."
It's like he called you out for like
Yeah.
cheating somehow.
I was like, "Should I be ashamed?"
No, sea breezes are
invented
very
Sea
good.
breeze was good.
For our own?
Yeah,
why don't you do the rest?
because I have to hold my
Sam.
computer and look at
I'm
these.
talking to Sam.
Okay, phew. Okay, so I want to talk about whether champagne gives you the worst hangover, because I've heard many of my friends say this. I feel like I've experienced very bad champagne hangovers, and in particular, champagne hangovers for me are quite headachy. So for comparison, my typical hangover, if I've had like some beer and maybe a shot or two of liquor, like not heavy mixing, is I'm just a little bit nauseous. I have hot face, like I feel like I have a fever, and a horrible headache. Like a headache is always my number one
I
symptom.
never get a headache.
And like other people have different symptoms, but those are probably my top three. But in particular, a champagne hangover is just like I cannot open my eyes. My headaches are so bad if I've had enough of it, right? And so I was thinking about like, why is the best alcohol the worst thing for my body?
Because of the sugar.
I'm getting to that.
Okay. I just want to sound a little smart if I'm right. But I don't.
No. Okay. So this is a lot of it has to do with actually the bubbles that exist in champagne and the carbonation that like and how carbonated beverages affect your body. So on the scale of beer to soda to champagne, soda has like 1.5 times as much carbonation as an average beer. An average soda, I should say. Like, obviously, there's scales within all of these.
Yeah.
And then champagne has 1.5 to 2 times as much carbonation as an average soda. So
Whoa.
it's way up there. And
It's making me burpy right now.
yeah, there's so many bubbles in it. Traditionally made champagne, so I'm talking like proper actual champagne, is twice fermented in order to get these bubbles. And so what they do is they They ferment it once, like you would a beer or another type of wine or something. But then it's only at that point it's only like 9% alcohol, and most champagnes are in the 12 to 15% range. Most wines, in fact. And so they then like they get some of the shit out of there. They release some of the gases and some of the byproducts, and then top it off and cork it, and then let it ferment again effectively.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and so what they top it off with is basically like it's either straight white wine made from the same grapes or like a mix of sugar and that white wine or something. It sort of depends on the winery, but so they top it off, cork it, and then all of this fermentation is happening inside of the closed chamber. So the carbon
That's why
dioxide.
it's a thicker bottle than a wine bottle.
Exactly. So all this carbonation doesn't have anywhere to go.
Yeah.
And so it diffuses into the alcohol itself, into the champagne, and then it's just like chock full of carbon dioxide.
When I brewed my own cider, there is like also sort of a 2-step process like that, but not quite as intense. So like brew it in like a big thing, and then when I pour it into a bottle, if I want it to be carbonated, like actually I will I have these little pellets of sugar that I put into the bottle that's the right amount for the bottle, and then leave it out for a couple of days, and then I have to keep it in the fridge or else it can explode the bottle if it over carbonates. And that's a problem.
And
for
people do this
homebrewers
like
a lot.
Yeah, exactly. If you're making homebrew beer or cider, this like the twice fermentation is not relegated just to champagne, but that is how like traditional champagne is made.
Right.
Whereas sparkling wine or like your
Arbor mist.
do not say that word around
Sutter
me.
home.
Yeah. No, like other sort of like for the masses, cheaper, like this one is a cava. Not saying anything about the brand, but it was probably force carbonated. So they literally just like pipe in the gas.
They soda stream.
They
that.
soda stream
Yeah.
some fucking white wine and make this wonderful cava that we're enjoying right now. But the thing with the good traditional fermentation is that those bubbles last a shitload longer. And if you're force carbonating something, those bubbles tend to evaporate and like sort of distill and get rid of themselves very quickly. So they did find, there was one small study, again, as with a lot of hangover science, there's not a lot of like distinct.
There's nothing for sure. Everyone's disproving everybody else with no actual solution.
Yeah, there's not a lot of peer-reviewed article or research or journalism on this topic. But so they did do one small study where they gave people proper like sparkling wine with the bubbles in it, and then they gave the other half of the people degassed champagne. Sorry, I made air quotes podcast. So they did.
Sounds really gross.
Yeah, all they did.
Degassed is a sad word.
All they did actually is they put it in a blender just to like, and then let it get flat. So they
makes
just
sense.
like whisked the bubbles out.
That's
of
what
it.
I want to say. If I leave a soda out too long, I'm like, oh, it's degassed.
Please, oh, that's good. Let's do.
Yeah.
Let's.
We're starting trends on holy fucking science.
I tend to. No, okay. So they told the other group of people that it was just white wine. They didn't, but so it's like exactly the same alcohol content from the same bottle. They just treated one half of it so that it didn't have any bubbles.
And they lied.
So this study involved lying.
It's about placebo effect to some degree, I guess. Not
don't
really,
know.
but like.
But
you could have your preconceived notions of how you feel after.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Right.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like the difference
I
between
suppose
red and
that's
white
true.
wine in some ways.
Oh my god, this is nice. I love
Ooh.
champagne.
That's pretty good.
So the main thing that they found was that the blood alcohol, like the BACs, were higher in people that had the champagne with the bubbles in it than the people who did not, even though they had the same amount of booze, and that they were also the people with the bubbly had worse scores on like attention tests. So they just did like some brain teasers and some sort of like pick the right blinking light, like quick, I don't know,
Yeah,
scientific tests.
They're just all around drunker.
Your standard fare. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the people with the bubbly champagne were drunker. And so the theory is then that anything with that's carbonated, particularly heavily carbonated, like sparkling wine is, gets into your bloodstream quicker, and so you feel drunker faster.
Wouldn't that have the
But with a
effect,
hangover, though.
of causing you to drink less?
So this is part B
Continue.
of my thing, is that so you're feeling drunker faster,
Yeah.
and I think people have this is partially conjecture on my part, but now I think people have like drinking timelines, and you're out for an hour or you're out for 2 hours, and that's like your standard drinking amount. You go to a dinner party or whatever, you drink for 2 hours, and then you sober up and you drive home or whatever you need to do. And so I think that when people are getting drunker faster, they're getting drunker in a shorter because they're getting drunker in a shorter amount of time. They have more time to get more drunk, and so that is part of what leads to more of a hangover.
And also, like, if you're drunk faster, your inhibitions are probably...
Yeah, exactly. It's like...
You're just like, let's keep going.
Let's go.
Yeah.
And if you're drinking champagne, you're probably at a party.
Yeah, that's the other thing, is that people are drinking
It's New
champagne
Year's.
for, like, it's a holiday, or it's your
Right.
birthday, or you got a new job, or some other reason
it's
to
brunch.
celebrate. Or it's brunch.
Why'd you look at Stefan like that?
Because we have a monthly brunch where we drink champagne.
Oh, yeah. I don't
And
get
orange
it.
Oh,
juice.
bless the regularity on that. I
You
love
have to do
that.
That's
work
not
to
the-
get into
the
it,
point
too.
of it, but...
But it's, yeah, I mean, brunch is a cause for celebration.
Yeah,
That's
that's what we're saying.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so middle class of me.
What?
I'm just trying to check my privilege on saying that, like, brunch is a thing that I can,
Anybody can have a brunch.
not with
Anyway.
champagne.
No. Technically,
so-
we can't have a brunch with champagne, probably. Because we're drinking sparkling wine.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
one of those. So like you're out, you're drinking more because you're celebrating something, and it's a cause for particularly people who don't usually drink or binge drink,
Yeah.
are drinking
easy to
more.
drink, yeah.
And
Yeah.
so there's like a causal, it's like a correlative relationship, and it's not a causal thing.
But it
necessarily.
is,
Yeah.
it does make you drunker faster.
Yes.
Probably.
Yes, because
Yeah.
of the bubbles, which are so lovely.
Why do bubbles make you drunker faster in this case, but air in your blood makes you not drunker faster when
Well-
it comes to elevation?
Air in your blood?
Is different.
Air
There
is
shouldn't
not
be
the
air
way
in
that
your
you should.
blood.
Oxygen.
Call that an embolism, Sam.
Yeah,
No, well,
yeah.
then what's in your
Dangerous,
blood?
life-threatening
Is it
condition.
air in your brain? Where's the
Stop
air
saying
going?
air. You gotta be somewhat scientific. Julia's choking on her
It's
champagne
air.
right now.
It's not just oxygen. It's all of it.
Yeah, air. That's fine. I just... When you drink champagne, it's in your digestive system.
Yeah.
I assume there's something happening there. Like, it's tickling your small intestine, and that makes it absorb faster.
Oh.
That's my theory.
Yeah, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, this is maybe going
We
to
didn't
be
have
one
a
of the least
scientist
scientific
on this
episodes.
episode.
There are no
So-
scientists on this episode.
But like, clearly, no scientists care that much about hangovers.
That's the thing. Look at the
It's down to
atrociousness
4
of this
dopes like us.
podcast will inspire someone to
hope
go
so.
out and do some real research
Yeah,
here.
teach us some
Yeah.
real
We
science.
We need to know.
please.
So basically, yeah, the bubbles they get into your blood.
I told you.
Not
Not the way you said.
not the same way mountain air gets into your blood. That gets into your heart, Sam.
Okay.
This is all sounds bad.
This
and
all sounds like
wrong.
fake science.
It's
to me.
fake.
Fake.
Not your whole thing. Just
My
when
whole
it comes
thing?
No,
No.
just when it comes to air and different interacting with different parts of your body.
Well, that's
Air,
like
blood,
it's
air.
Blood,
Your
air.
blood air content.
no one does any fucking research on alcohol because I think that scientists don't want people to binge drink. Is what is going on.
I've read
here.
about a lot of pills that solve a lot of things when it comes to
Ooh.
this.
Do
those
but
work?
never
Somebody-
proved.
Well, like miracle pills.
Yeah.
Did you? So you're not going to talk about the medication though. That's
No.
like actually approved.
No.
So I'll just throw that in because I saw a thing about like there's actually a medication that makes you get drunker on less alcohol, but then it also breaks. I think it breaks down all those like bad things that are toxic and
Yeah.
make you feel shitty the next day. So you get drunker faster and you have less of a hangover, but it's like used for treatment of other things. Like it's a poison treatment,
Yeah.
essentially, and it's not supposed to be used for hangover stuff. And it's $1,000 a pill, so like you're not gonna just casually use this on a Friday
Yeah.
night.
To clarify, acetaldehyde is like the thing that the liver has to break down to get like drinking causes also acetaldehyde
Explode.
to yeah, that's the thing that is bad and that your liver has to deal with generally.
Okay. No, it's much more scientific.
Yeah, we got the science.
You
But
said
where does it come from?
Is that
Chemical reactions.
Okay.
is it a product? I don't actually know. Is it a product of the like breakdown of ethanol? We should probably
Yeah.
No, I
know
think
this.
that ethanol is parallel to acetaldehyde
Oh no.
rather than a.
I thought someone else was going to go over the basics, so I didn't really look it up.
I really
It
did
says
so too.
I have it as an intermediary byproduct of yeast breaking down sugar.
Okay.
Then it
So I think
And then the liver
parallel
has
is
to
a-
break it
is a
down after
correct
that.
description.
Okay.
then.
Yeah.
It's just another one of those things that's in there.
Okay, so this congeners are substances other than the desired type of alcohol, ethanol, produced during fermentation, including, and so a congener, acetaldehyde is a congener.
Well, so they're all natural.
Yeah, all
natural
natural, you know, all
processes.
natural is all good.
Mm-hmm. That's what I always say. Okay, am I going next?
Yeah,
That's the
just
thing.
go.
All right, we've completely gone out of order, but that's okay. So
It's my order.
yeah,
It's dealer's
Sam's now
choice.
control the podcast
Sam's
because
our
his intro
dad.
was way better. I'm talking about the economic impacts of hangovers because the CDC did a study. I think it was published in 2015, but they were looking back because there was a study in 2006 that estimated the cost of excessive drinking to the economy to be,
Like in lost work time?
well, I'll get to it, to be about 223 billion
Jesus.
in 2006.
in 1 year?
Yeah.
Fuck me.
And so they were following up on that. And then in 2010, so they published it in 2015, but they were looking back at 2010 data, and they estimated the costs for 2010 to be 249 billion. So it was increasing, and they said it was especially worrying because of we were going through a recession,
Yes.
yet we still increased the economic cost of drinking.
Because
through that
everyone's
time.
bummed
I
out.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you know, I guess. But
like you're not bummed out from 2006 to 2010?
you know,
I was in
I don't know what I felt at those times. I
was
don't
in
know what
college,
was
baby.
going on.
16 to 20.
I had no
That wasn't
idea.
very good.
16. Oh, those are.
My
I don't know how
ages.
old I was. I was like early 20s. Yeah, I wasn't doing anything. So I guess I was probably bummed and a drain on the
And drank a
economy.
lot.
Drinking a lot?
Yeah, I was draining the economy. So they estimate that just as an overall breakdown of like causes, they think that binge drinking is probably responsible for 77% of those costs. And I didn't actually like. So they defined binge drinking as 4 drinks for women and 5 drinks for men in one session, or as drinking that will cause you to go over the 0.08 limit.
That's interesting because I think of binge drinking as like doing that, but more and also
more,
many
yeah.
times.
Right.
a row.
Yeah. Well, I've always understood binge drinking as just drinking a shitload in one night.
Yes.
Oh,
But the threshold is lower than I even expected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
4 or
that's
5
low.
drinks.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like I could get there on this
You
podcast
know,
Yeah.
recording.
that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. We're almost there.
We're halfway there.
Hell yeah.
Pour me some champagne.
I do prefer champagne to beer, so I'm just
Really?
like eyeing that bottle right now.
Ooh,
Cut that.
Yeah.
cut it.
All beer except for.
Oh, we don't have
Except
to
for
be,
Big
we don't
Sky
have to-
Brewery.
we don't have to be that. Whatever.
Whatever. Hashtag spawn. So they estimate binge drinking responsible for 77% of the costs, the overall cost of that 249 billion. Underage drinking 10%, and pregnant drinking 2.2%, which is like not good. But then like in terms of like real numbers, this was another little like fun factoid was that the math works out to the cost to society to the economy is $2.05 per drink that you have.
That's what? How? How many people are doing horrible stuff after?
Well, I mean, if you like crash your car into like some property, like that's some, and you have
That's a lot
medical
of
bills
money.
and like, and then there's like,
Drink
so go-
responsibly, people. Jesus.
well, yes. So
I thought this was only people.
Wait, what?
You thought it was just people
thought it
calling
was just
in
people-
sick to work?
Well, okay. So we'll break it down.
Or being hungover at work and not working very hard that day. That's
Yeah.
what I thought you were
That's-
talking about.
We'll get
Crashing
there.
your car. That's
We'll
a
get
bummer. All
So
right.
so
This is
the
adult
lowest
life.
the lowest contributor is actually the cost from car crashes. That's about
Oh.
5%. It's about
Phew.
$13 billion from car crashes.
Phew, 13 billion.
And then there's $25 billion associated with criminal justice costs, so like lawyers and like
So yelling at the people who crashed their cars.
sure,
Yeah.
In the simplest terms.
pushing them through the judicial system costs money, processing them, etc., going to jail.
What do you think court is?
I know.
They kind of yell at you. That's it.
Yes, I've seen the videos.
Mm-hmm.
Of
They
court.
always seem very. they
Judge
seem very
Judy?
cross.
Judge Judy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's angry.
So little yelling.
It's not enough yelling. 28 billion from healthcare costs. So from just like people getting sick and having various diseases
Right in
related to that. And then 179 billion from lost workplace productivity.
Hell yeah, I was right.
So
yeah.
you were mostly.
So it's like, yeah, people showing up, not working as hard, and people calling in sick the day after they go out
Slackers,
drinking.
more like.
which I have never done. I feel like
You.
I don't think I've ever been
Brown nose
hungover
and
at work.
liar.
No.
Yeah,
my
me
boss.
either.
'Cause I don't really drink that much on Sundays or weekdays.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Well, except now I drink every what day
Every
is it?
night.
Wednesday.
Oh.
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
Tuesday,
sure. Every
but okay.
HFS
Yeah.
or Wednesday night. Sponsored by Big Sky Brewing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to, before I had this job, and I'm trying not to brown nose, but before I had this job, I used to drink a lot on the weekdays and would come in hungover, but I never missed work because I had the
Yeah.
wine flu.
That
Oh, yeah.
seems like it'd
The
be
wine.
the champagne flu.
Yeah.
No,
that's
that's
like-
a pun. It's a
Is
nice
that the
pun.
drink?
though.
Never mind.
Talk about showing your privilege.
Oh man,
I don't know.
Please.
This is getting nasty.
Yeah.
What? How do they tell? Because how do they tell the real amount of times people are hungover at work?
I mean, all of this is like these are estimates.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess companies might do staff surveys that are anonymous. And
Maybe you should add that
Yeah.
to
Or
ours.
they do like
Yeah.
another surveys of just people and like say how
Yeah,
many times have you done
that's
this?
how
And so
most
it's
of
like,
them work,
yeah.
I suppose. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So could it be even way more than that?
Yeah.
People are not
I mean,
truthful.
of course they would say this, but they said that they assume that it's an underestimate
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
actual costs. 100 billion of that 250 is spent by the government or various governments, like state and federal
Wait,
governments.
because
It's
of
like-
the legal stuff.
Yeah, legal and like healthcare and
Yeah.
like different things. So like, or maybe like federal employees calling in sick. I don't know. But
yeesh.
you know, that's a lot of tax monies. They also estimated that excessive drinking is responsible for 88,000 deaths per year. I thought that, so Washington, D.C. had the highest cost per person at $1,526 per person, which I thought was interesting. All those
A year?
politicians
Yeah.
getting drunk.
They gotta go out drinking after work every day.
Yeah, and crashing and
Forget about it.
whatever.
It's just a man fucking us again.
Whoa! Yeah, we're going in some directions.
That's interesting. The DC. I thought it would be like
yeah.
a southern or western state, maybe.
Yeah.
It's like Montana. Isn't Montana like the most, like the
think
highest
so.
percentage of binge
specifically
drinking?
Missoula
Interestingly-
I feel like I
is-
just read
is-
that.
Yeah, Missoula
Yeah.
does have a lot of binge drinking. There's a whole map. Here it is. So, estimated cost of excessive alcohol use by state, 2010. And like the highest ones are like like California, Texas, Washington, like East Coast.
I would not think that.
And then the lowest cost ones is like Montana, Idaho, Utah, over through the Dakotas and stuff, and then like Maine, Vermont, like those states.
Is that not per capita though? Like it would be helpful to have it ranked by person.
Yeah, actually, it's. I think it's total cost for the state.
Well, then that makes sense. Least populated.
What's Montana?
That's true. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, here it's got cost per capita. So total cost in Montana, $870 million, almost $871 million.
So that's less than $1,000 a person.
$880 per person.
Whoa.
Which actually,
We should start a GoFundMe for Montana.
I'm not contributing
for
my
Montana
amount.
drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think that most people probably don't like contribute anything to that cost, though, right? Like, I've never done anything that while drinking that would cause any money
but you're
to
a
be thrown
decidedly
into this.
good egg. Like Montana has a high propensity for drunk driving.
Yeah.
No,
That's
but
true.
Montana's not even that high up there. Compared, you said 1,500 for
In DC.
Yeah, so like that's
I mean, but
ridiculous.
it might also be that like, I don't know, healthcare costs there are more. I don't know. There could be other things.
It's just
Yeah.
a lot of money.
Yeah,
a shitload of
it's a
money.
lot of money. And so their proposed solutions are like increasing taxes on alcohol, limiting the
We don't
number.
have any of those here.
The glee in your voice when you said that.
Is that true though?
We don't
pay
have sales
We
tax,
don't have.
huh?
We don't pay tax on anything.
Well, that's not
But-
true, but
Buy like purchasable goods.
It might be factored into the.
Well,
price
that's what I
already.
was thinking. It might be.
Oh,
I don't know. Like the
well.
employer might have to pay on their end, and then
I don't know. I don't
just
know.
in the price.
The liquor
I don't know.
licenses are complicated, but that's
But they also suggest limiting the number of stores, and then what they call commercial host liability, which I think is weird because it's like holding retailers liable for damage caused by their customers.
Yeah.
Which seems very strange to me, unless what they mean is like taxing them more, to be like, this money is
It's
going to
like-
cover costs of like alcohol damage, and you sell alcohol.
Or
Here's
would
a
it be
tax
like,
or something.
aha,
I
they
don't know.
told me you were drinking, that they were drinking here before they crashed their car, so you're footing the bill.
I don't know.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
like
That
some kind of
seems
bar
weird to me.
insurance type thing, where if your customers are the ones going crazy the
Yeah.
most often, or like, isn't there?
I
There
guess-
are already regulations about how much you can pour in a drink and stuff
Yeah.
like that, aren't there?
I guess
Yeah.
it makes
Yeah.
more sense for a bar than like
Yeah.
a liquor store, which
Yeah.
is what I was
Yeah.
thinking.
That I
Of.
was thinking.
no,
bar.
I think it's more related or more about bars
Yeah.
than about
Because
Okay.
there's already like limits here for like if you go to a distillery, you can only have 2 drinks.
Yeah.
And it's like the amount of
That's-
alcohol.
There's like weird reasons for that though.
Yeah.
Not
Oh,
related
that's
to,
more
like-
to do with sales,
Yeah.
and you're not a store or liquor license person.
Hello, I'm a liquor license person. Don't
That's
blame
what we
me
say
for your
here.
car crash, please.
I'm just a piece of paper.
I'm just a piece of paper.
And I'm done.
Oh, good.
That's all I got.
Thanks for the math, Stefan.
Yeah, I gave you some.
That is way higher than I would
It's
have
so
expected.
much
But I
money.
suppose that a lot of things
But-
cost a lot that we don't think of because they don't
Yeah.
apply to us normally. Like a car crash or going to court.
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, I mean that's why like you have $100,000 of like damage and
Yeah.
300,000 medical or whatever, and like those costs can add up pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. 1 year though, that's crazy.
Yeah, we got to get it under control somehow. Not tonight.
Nope. I will probably keep drinking at the rate I've been drinking for the last 10 years.
You got the rest of the... Oh, I thought you meant like today.
No.
I was like, you do have that whole rest of that bottle of champagne now.
Yeah, and there's 4 other people in this room. It'll be gone in a second.
It costs you 10 whole smackers. You gotta get every drop.
Mm-hmm. It was the cheapest one they had.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it was good.
Okay, so it's my turn now.
Yeah.
Close
us out.
I have a bunch of things about remedies for hangovers, sort of just like historical, more so mostly from the 50s and 60s, because I found a very good article on the internet of this guy in the late 50s, Frank Paulson, surveyed hundreds of people to collect their hangover cures. He just went to bars and college campuses and stuff and just asked them, and he wrote it all down. And the results were published in the Journal of American Folklore in 1961.
Hell
And this
yeah.
was the first article that came up when I searched a thing about this. So I was like, I'm just going to go with this. So
Can I, before you start, go around the table and ask what people's hangover cures are?
sure. Yeah.
Do you guys have hangover cures?
Not really. I
You
just
don't have
wait.
hangovers. So.
If you just wait a few hours, that's fine.
A few
I don't know.
hours.
I just eat like a lot of
Yeah.
buttery eggs
Go
and
have a Big
hashed
Mac or
browns and
something.
stuff.
Yeah. Eat
I al-
buttery eggs.
I know that
Yeah.
I need to eat, but I always nausea is normally like my number one thing. So I just feel like I can't eat anything and then I don't.
I'm a big
Or
time
even
puke
drink that much
advocate.
water. So mine is just like
Yeah.
drink water and eat something.
Yeah.
You should
And then
puke
I'd
more.
be fine.
No,
Oh.
No.
don't. That's not an actual. That won't help you.
Helps me feel better. It doesn't
No.
help? Does it really not?
Sometimes it's not that kind of nausea for me. Like I'm not to where I would be able to do that.
Yeah. So the theory behind puking to either to prevent a hangover or cure a hangover is that the alcohol's already in your bloodstream, so it's not anything
Yeah.
that your stomach could solve for you.
Damn.
If anything, you should be eating something and putting more into your stomach
Yeah.
because you're like the acidity of the alcohol that you've had is sort of wearing away
What a fool I've
at
been.
your organs.
And dehydration is just like a compounding issue.
Yeah.
On top of that, like if you don't drink water, you're gonna feel horrible.
Yeah.
That's just life, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but it's harder to do because alcohol dehydrates you, and then also you've already drank a lot of liquid, so you don't feel like drinking more liquid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
What about you?
That first cool glass of water in the morning is so nice.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big proponent of Gatorade or Powerade, and I quite like pickles when I'm hungover.
This is a lot of things I have in my list.
You think drinking pickle juice would work like it works for runners?
Please, let's wait.
Oh gosh, we cracked the case.
So
It's pickle juice.
I love the taste of Pedialyte.
You do. You drink it
I don't-
just for a
What?
I
treat.
never thought of that.
I
Just
don't,
a treat.
Yeah, I do it as a treat, but I sometimes say it.
Wait a minute.
I say
What's the substance? Is it like a milk?
No.
No,
It's
no,
like
no, no,
Gatorade,
no.
but
Formula?
watered
It's like
down
Gatorade-
even more.
but you
Oh,
also
okay.
shouldn't drink too much of it.
It's the juice one, not the milky one.
It's
a
like for
baby.
rehydrating babies who have diarrhea and stuff.
Okay.
So, but like it's fucking good,
special
and it's like
treat.
so hydrating.
He buys like a big bulk thing from Costco.
It's the only
sometimes.
size they make. It's not Costco. They have them at Target. They have them at the grocery store. There's the normal size. You just get a thing of Pedialyte. It's delicious.
So-
but it's like a good excuse. Is like, oh, I've got a hangover. I don't know. This is a
I haven't
random
seen you
tidbit
drink it in
about
a
me.
while, but
Yeah,
it's always
I try to
weird when
limit
you
my
do.
Pedialyte. You know, I don't want to be a Pedialyte-holic.
No. What is the thing that makes you not be that you shouldn't drink too much of it?
I
Is
actually
it like
I don't
a
remember.
vitamin overdose or something?
Something like that. Like whatever's in it. Like you don't want too much of it.
Okay, Val, tell us
please.
your down home
Well-
old timey prospector remedies
So
from the 1960s.
basically, the whole article of this, I thought it was going to be like some science, but all it is a list of quotes
No science
categorized by like food, drink,
Very good.
hair of the dog,
All
and then
the
it's
different
like
branches
all
of
of their
science.
yeah. So like I went through and picked ones mostly that were the funniest. So this is mostly just random people from the late 50s, a lot of college students.
And
I think
people
you
who
also
hang
talked
out
to
in
a lot of
bars a
people
lot.
in bars.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first category of things that I picked out of this was greasy food. There was a lot of like,
Perfect.
so here's one quote. First thing you get up, you got one. Eat a good greasy meal. The greasier, the better. The grease, it stops up a steam from a stomach from going to the brain. The hot steam, you need grease. Too much steam from stomach affect brain. The doctor, he told me this. Plenty
no.
greasy food, never go wrong. Then drink plenty. Whiskey, beer, anything.
Then you drink after you eat the greasy food?
That was a stream of consciousness
This
poem.
Most
Yeah,
of
that
them
was
are
beautiful.
most of them are not that intelligible, but yeah. Someone said olive oil keeps it down so it won't go to your head. Oil floats in your stomach. The gas of the alcohol will not reach your brain.
Okay,
The
this
smoke
is the
heard this.
second time that they said gas from the alcohol.
Yeah, it could have been the same guy had two,
Okay.
but I don't know. Also,
No, but I-
preface with none of these have any scientific basis, although I am going to connect them slightly to some science.
But I've heard that old wives' tale before of like put something on top of the alcohol so that it prevents it from giving you a headache.
Well, if you've got something else going on in your stomach, it's probably diluting something.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
also
yeah,
totally
yeah.
unscientific. Yeah, so greasy, fatty food cravings are actually made stronger by alcohol. So it's when you eat greasy foods or when you drink, a brain chemical called galanin is produced by the hypothalamus, which makes you crave more fat and more alcohol. So it's like a weird cycle of like craving that happens when you do that. So that's why you want to eat. So when you're drunk, you want to drink more, and also you want greasy foods.
Does
and
greasy
it's like
food make you want beer too?
It's
is it just
two
one
things
way?
that it's the same thing, and it's multiple cravings tied to the same chemical, basically.
Oh.
So greasy food might make you feel better because you're craving it, so you feel like you're satisfying a craving.
Yeah.
So that's that one. Next category, sugar. This is a very good one. Quote, eat oranges, not just the juice, but the whole goddamn thing. Peel them back and eat the stuff and all. Eat 6 or a dozen if you've got to. You need that vitamin B.
Wait,
That's
does
what
this
makes
mean
you nervous
eat the
and-
skin too?
I don't think he meant that. I think he just means the whole orange.
I do
Okay.
have to say that a former coworker was very hungover and had only coffee and oranges for breakfast and like vomited everything up because he had
Sounds
only
about right.
consumed acid
Yeah.
Yeah.
for 3 hours.
Wait,
Yeah, so this guy or this person said that vitamin B is what makes you nervous and crappy. And I think he meant the lack of vitamin B makes you nervous and crappy.
He said
but-
crappy in the 60s?
Yeah.
Whoa.
in
him
the
to jail.
50s, in the late 50s.
Wow.
So that's one, and then here's another quote. I've heard there's some special vitamin or mineral or something in fresh papaya juice that will cure a hangover in a minute. The trouble is, where do you get it in Detroit?
Oh. Yeah.
So fruit. There were a lot of things about juices in
Yeah.
here,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of fruit is mentioned. For juices, there's a lot of glucose in that, aka sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So that can drop. Glucose levels can drop when you're dehydrated. So that might be a reason why juices and sugary things are something. And just like, I mean, and also it's like kind of like an energy boost too, sort of,
So
right?
refreshing.
Yeah, refreshing.
It tastes good on my tongue.
It's so
Yeah.
weird that your body can tell you this stuff strongly enough that you like internalize it into weird folksy like bullshit.
Eat the whole
Well-
goddamn thing.
Yeah, that's when I wake up after a late night of drinking. I'm just like, I need to eat 6 oranges right now.
I like genuinely have had that sensation.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, they are
That's kind of the
refreshing
same
on their
Gatorade
own.
sensation, I think.
Citrus is like wakes you up, I feel like, just
Yeah.
generally.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of like how things make you feel when you're eating them as opposed to how they're actually interacting with your hungover state.
Yeah.
There's a lot of this, which is why it seems like we said, not that much science definitive cures or remedies for hangovers. It's all like personal.
Yeah.
They're cues from your body
Feelings.
too, which is some kind of science, right? Possibly.
Maybe.
I mean, sure, it's just not necessarily, you
Gotta
can't
have
necessarily
sugar.
apply that to everyone.
Your brain. Well, you could. What do you mean?
I mean, you can tell whoever's taking down these quotes in the 50s.
Right. But you still need sugar and grease.
Grease.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grease up your bones. So
Yeah.
that
Grease
they
them
can
up,
move.
lube them
You gotta
up.
get limber. You gotta have that sugar.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I go to McDonald's. Gotta lube my bones.
No. No. Next is things to do with cabbage and tomatoes. There was a lot of cabbage.
Classic
Weird.
50s food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's weird because cabbage is a thing, like specifically a hangover remedy from ancient Greece and Romans and Egyptians and these
Whoa.
people in the 50s, Detroit or whatever. That like some of the ancient things were like put cabbage on your head, but a lot of them were like boiling it and then eating. But like sauerkraut specifically, modern times is something that people talk about a lot, and I think that it has to do with like it's salty, so it has a lot of electrolytes, so it's like kind of like Gatorade in that way,
And
but not
Pedialyte.
really.
And a pickle.
And
Yes, and pickle juice too. Yeah, same thing. And then tomato juice, I don't know, like maybe.
I've heard tomato juice.
Well, there's a lot of like remedies of like mixtures of stuff that include tomato juice in them, which I have a little bit on too. But like a good quote. I'm 63 years old.
Good morning drink.
Good morning.
I'm 63 years old come Sunday, and I've had my share of hangovers. But if you want to know the truth, there's no cure except time. Of course, you have to do what you can, and the best thing is to eat raw cabbage. That does help.
Oh, I was like, this is a wise 63-year-old.
I know, that's exactly what I thought when I
I was
read
like,
it.
oh, fuck.
It's like, of course,
Just eat cabbage.
Eat some cabbage. It does help.
I mean,
wonder-
cabbage is
I mean-
nothing.
No, it's pretty high in vitamin
got
C.
some
Got a
crazy
lot of
stuff and it
vitamins
tastes
in it, yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
If it
And I
tastes weird, it
think-
means it's got stuff in
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I wonder what the water content of cabbage would be. Like
The
if
Less
blood
than
water.
lettuce.
blood water.
Yeah, what's the blood water
What's your
content?
blood
The
water?
BWC.
Yeah.
Then you have to get the air in there just the right level too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta
How much
keep
air
those things in
does
balance.
cabbage allow you to get into your blood
Yeah.
when you eat it based on its water
My,
content?
my, my next thing is oxygen. So I knew a young lieutenant in Copenhagen, who said that the only way to cure a hangover was to drink milk all day long because it's loaded with oxygen.
No.
And that's what you
Whoa,
need. Lots of
no.
oxygen.
That seems
Just
bad.
take a few deep breaths.
Yeah.
The fuck is he talking about milk?
I don't know.
It's loaded.
It's white. Oxygen
Look
is
at me.
clear.
Look at
That's
me
close,
drinking
I
milk and
suppose.
getting my oxygen.
Milk is the color of oxygen. You're right about that.
There was someone else who alluded to oxygen, saying, "Ask anyone who flew planes during the war," and that is
milk?
no oxygen.
Wait.
No, no,
Because
but
you're-
do
so what
they?
do you ask
Because
them?
you're flying planes, you
Sure.
have an oxygen mask on.
Yeah, but are
whatever.
they
They don't have
drinking milk up
hangovers?
there?
No milk. That was just one guy. It was
Okay,
weird.
okay.
The-
Do you have any more information about milk?
No, that's nothing. I was trying to talk about the oxygen part of it,
Yeah,
which that's still a thing that is like pretty prevalent. Oxygen, like treatments. There's recently in the news and stuff. There's been a lot of stuff about IV like vitamin drips paired with
Oh,
like
yeah.
100% oxygen.
There was like a service in Las Vegas
Yeah, hangover
Oxygen
heaven.
bars
that would
Oh, yeah,
come
yeah.
to your room or something and like give you IVs
Yeah.
Yep.
to help you out.
Yeah. And so that was started by a guy who worked, I think he was an anesthesiologist or something like that. And he saw that the symptoms of people who were coming out of anesthesia had similar symptoms as people in hangovers. And so he was like, I'm going to try this same treatment on people. So he gave them basically a drip of
Yeah.
vitamins, anti-inflammatories, and
Jeez.
an oxygen mask.
Yeah.
And he like drives his little truck around Las
There's no
Vegas.
scientific evidence that this helps at all. Though.
No. They
Yeah, we
like
need to make some
someone from The
money.
Verge went and tried it, and
Yeah.
she said, "Yeah, I felt pretty good in 45 minutes, but like
Yeah.
anyone could feel fine in 45 minutes, depending."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you can get vitamin overdoses too, which is
Yeah.
not good
Yeah.
from those kinds of things. I'm assuming that the ones that are like somewhat commercial probably know that and aren't gonna like OD you on vitamin B or something. But yeah, there's like nothing that has been any kind of actual research to prove that like higher concentrations of oxygen or vitamin like drips help with hangovers at
Yeah.
all. But
Huh.
I mean, more vitamins is probably good to an extent. And I assume if like, vitamins that you eat are not that great at like being processed. So like
like a
they give
Flintstone?
you
What are
way
you
It's not-
more than you need because the body only processes a little bit of it.
Like
But I
in
assume-
supplements, or are you saying from food?
From like eating a Flintstones vitamin.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Which is my only reference point for vitamins. I stopped after those.
Oh,
you stopped all foods after.
No, a vitamin as in a chewable tablet or a gummy worm or a gumball.
Do you still do the Flintstone though?
No.
You
Still
just
rock
say
Flintstones.
candies.
I don't know. Those are all things my
gummy
sister
worm.
ate. Yeah, she ate like gummy things that tasted like Flintstone vitamins, so they weren't very good. And gumballs that tasted like Flintstone vitamins.
I love a Flintstone vitamin. They
crazy.
taste delicious.
My teeth
Okay.
hurt.
No.
Do you have more funny stuff to say?
Yeah. So the next category is the quintessential mixing a raw egg. I was gonna
Yeah.
look up how to say this works. I say it wrong every time. Worcestershire.
Worcestershire sauce.
Worcestershire.
Raw egg, Worcestershire sauce, vinegar, salt, pepper, Hot sauce is like
I mean,
a
that'll
classic
all on
thing.
top of
Fucking
a raw
wake
egg.
you up.
Yeah, like you put a raw egg in, try not to break
Oof.
the yolk for some reason, because it looks weirder, I guess,
Ooh.
that way. Those are called prairie oysters.
Yes.
Oh,
And
yeah, yeah.
they're a huge thing, like, in,
On the
like...
prairie.
Yes, on the prairie. And also just, like, in pop culture.
So wistful.
I
Right.
think that is kind of, like, self-perpetuating of,
Right.
like, all these movies of, like, people, like, got, like, a highball glass with the egg,
Mhm.
Worcestershire,
With hot sauce
and all
on
that
it
stuff, and they're
yeah.
like, ooh, I feel great.
Yeah.
Don't believe what you see in movies.
There's something similar to that, which is called an amber moon, which is basically the same thing, but you mix whiskey or something else in.
Okay.
Which
That's
no,
the-
thank you for all of these.
Were you with me when Bill told us about the scorpions?
No.
Okay, so I asked my bartender friend because when I was looking into hangover remedies, and he said he effectively grew up in a bar. His parents owned a bar,
literally.
and so he said that their remedy this would have been like the 80s and 90s was called a scorpion, and it's black pepper at the bottom of a shot glass, filled mostly with Sprite, and then floated. So like to float alcohol on something, you just pour it over a spoon so it lays really nicely and doesn't mix. Floated whiskey on the top of it. So like the idea was, and you take it as a shooter. And they didn't charge for them, so people were just
Like, I'll take 4. What did you call them?
scorpions.
Scorpions.
So you're just like trucking them in. You're making a big line of them in the morning for these like old timers who are sort of
They're
all
getting going
always
for the
drunk?
day. They're
yeah.
not-
And so like the alcohol
Oh.
on the top is the hair of the dog, and then the 7-Up settles your stomach, and the black pepper like clears your sinuses.
Oof.
And these are all things, but
Sounds
they're
right to
not
me.
all hangover specific things, you know?
Yeah.
It's like all treating like symptoms, or ooh, I feel woken up from some pepper or hot sauce. But yeah, I don't
What's
know.
Well, I
egg-
think that's
why
because hangovers at the end of the day are like composites.
Oh yeah.
Situations.
Yeah.
Like everyone experiences different symptoms, and everyone experiences them in different ways and for different amounts of time, and like so there's no remedy. Like sure, your sinuses are clogged, so have something spicy. That makes sense. You need something to eat, so whether it be a buttery egg that Sam wants
Or
or,
an
a fucking
uncooked egg.
raw egg that a
Why
prairie
raw?
oyster has.
What's the egg doing for?
Their eggs have. Thanks for asking. They have. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know how to pronounce any of the words that I'm gonna say right now. They have cysteine, cysteine, which can help produce glutathione,
Glutathione.
which
One
helps break
scientist.
down acetaldehyde.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, and it's not like a huge level, and there's lots of foods that do have this
So we
in
can
it.
conclusively say raw eggs.
Just any eggs. They don't have to be raw, but maybe raw has more. I didn't
I was right.
see anything about that.
Hmm.
But again, like, there's no proven science
Right.
behind this, but like they have a thing that helps break down the thing that the liver is already trying to break down.
Right.
So theoretically, it could be doing something.
But like a lot of foods do have it,
Yeah.
and it's not like a super high level
Yeah.
specifically in
You
eggs or
know?
anything, you know?
Just eat some food, drink some water, reflect on your life, and have some Pedialyte. Pedialyte
Pedialyte
now-
like-
website pulled up.
Yeah, I've got it
Deeply
close.
shocking to me.
So on their website, they are now. It's like adults and kids can get advanced rehydration to feel better fast. Lots of things can lead to dehydration: stomach flu, heat, exercise, alcohol.
Just stop talking about diarrhea. It's too unseemly.
It said
Stomach
food
flu.
poisoning.
It says
Oh,
stomach flu.
yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
stomach flu.
That's
Yeah.
true.
But they're embracing it, and I
new
think it's
trend.
delicious. So
But
I'm
it's
gonna
just
lean into
watered
it.
down Gatorade.
no, it
Okay.
is not. No.
Is it more concentrated Gatorade?
Do you
on
have
another
any
level.
actual specifics
It's-
of what it is?
No.
Bring me one.
Bring me a specific.
We're gonna do the science of Pedialyte.
The science
next
of
time.
Pedialyte.
We're all just gonna sit and stare at you.
You know, everyone go do some research on your own
All right.
about some Pedialyte.
Why? You got a Costco case.
It
Bring
does
me
have a
one.
lot of electrolytes. It has prebiotics. I mean,
Probiotics?
no,
Whoa,
prebiotics.
what's a
What's
prebiotic?
a pre?
I forget. We covered it in a SciShow episode.
Oh, zinger!
But I
That was
can't
boy.
remember.
He gotcha. He zinged ya.
but I don't remember what that means. Quickly replaces fluids, zinc, and electrolytes.
Oh, zinc is good for you.
It was hard researching this because there's so many natural like remedy websites and other things that are like none of it has any proof because there isn't any proof. So like everything was like this is the best thing because of all of these chemicals that this thing has and nothing else has.
Well,
but
then there's like the
everything has
home
same thing.
brewers web, like they have their own like subculture too, and they all have different ideas about what makes people have hangovers or what like ruins their beer and stuff. So that kind of muddies the water too. I feel like just a bunch of like amateur chemists trying their best to figure out something that even real scientists don't know anything about. So
Damn.
That's sort of most of what I had, but I have some really funny, weird ones that don't have any basis in science, if I may read
All right,
a few.
hit us.
Okay. You'll never have a hangover on scotch. That's one, which is
all right,
good.
Period.
I can definitively
Michael
say that's
Gardner?
not true.
can't be true.
Get one of those little dime apple pies and cut a hole in the top crust. Pour in as much brandy as it'll take. Eat it with a tablespoon.
Why?
With a
It doesn't
tablespoon.
sound bad.
I
sounds
know,
bad.
but like as a hangover cure?
Like
or
buy a McDonald's a 2 for $1 apple
Oh,
pie.
that is
Cut
not
some
what it
holes
said.
in it. It said a
Although,
dime
I'm
apple
actually kinda
pie, which I
curious
assume
now.
is like a McDonald's pie.
Oh, sure.
Costs a dime.
I
Little
guess
hand
so.
pie of
Little
some
hand
sort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pour some
Yeah,
brandy
you're
in
right.
it.
As much as it will take.
As
Oh.
much as it
As
will
much
take.
as it will
I
take.
hate brandy though. I couldn't.
I have one on the similar theme of that one is cut a big piece of watermelon if you can get a hold of one. I don't know.
Oh.
Fruit seemed
Fruit
very
was hard to find
rare
back then, I
back
think,
Yeah.
probably.
Punch holes in the meat with a fork.
The meat.
The meat of the
Dude,
watermelon. That's
Oh,
a
yeah,
real
the
term.
meat of the
this is
watermelon.
the same one.
Pour half a pint of gin over that and eat it down.
Okay.
Be careful of the seeds; they'll kill you.
Oh no!
That is
Half a
false.
pint is a lot of gin, right?
That is a lot
Fuckload
of
of gin. And if I'm gonna put booze in
Into a
watermelon,
whole
it's gonna
watermelon,
be...
though? It's not
Did
that
it say
Well,
whole
at that
watermelon?
point, it's just a
though?
spody.
It said a big piece of watermelon.
Yeah,
be
it's
vodka.
not.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
big chunk of it.
Just a chunk of watermelon.
I like
Okay.
be careful of the seeds. That's
Yeah, that's the
big
part you
danger
gotta watch
there.
out for. Oh
Um,
my.
Here's another one, kind of long but very good. I've always heard hot sauce is the best, and by God it is. I was tore up pretty bad one morning and went into this bar where they had hot corned beef sandwiches. I said, make it hot, and they poured on the pepper. In 10 minutes, sweat was popping out all over me, and right away I started to feel good. Which, like, sure.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
And then my favorite... Well,
Go ahead.
Do you have something to say about
No.
corned beef?
No, I really don't. I have
You do.
nothing to say about corned beef.
My favorite one, and I think is a good ending, is take the day off and go up to a brook and fish. Let the breeze blow
Yeah.
on your head and forget your troubles.
I like that one.
I heard that.
Yeah, but then you're destroying the economy with your.
You're just fishing.
You're taking the day off?
took
Yeah,
a
you
day
took
off
a
work.
day off work
Yeah, but he's
to go
not
fishing.
Taking the day off assumes that he had a day of vacation to spare. Did they have vacation days in the 50s?
Well,
I don't
even if you
know.
just called in sick,
Yeah, it's still a day that you're not working.
But he's catching fish,
lost
which is
productivity.
a pro.
Well, you're gonna sell the fish back into the economy?
Maybe.
I don't know. Okay.
But I think that's, just chill out.
Yeah.
And also don't
Let
drink
the air
too
blow
much.
on
I
your
just
head.
like the
I like
sentiment
that.
of it.
fresh
me
air
too.
is really, really nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
There were a handful that was like, go out in the yard and rake leaves for 10 hours until you feel
For 10
until
hours.
you can't move anymore.
I had a hangover
Oh.
when I was raking your leaves.
I had a hangover last time I raked leaves.
I felt pretty good after I raked
it
them.
feels good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think cold, like
Oh.
being chilled when you're feeling sick
Uh-huh.
is very good for
Is
me.
good, yeah,
Generally,
I agree.
feel really good. If I can't do like heating pads or anything, it just makes me feel way sicker.
No.
Could you do cooling pad?
Sure.
Ice.
Ice,
Ice.
if you will.
One ice.
There was also a lot of them about having sex was a remedy, but I didn't want to talk about those.
All right.
But they were very graphic
That
for
would
what
have
I
been
thought
some
the
holy
50s.
fucking science.
Why? Oh,
Oh, Stefan.
All right, whatever.
What a.
yeah.
All right, just insert some background laughter. You know,
canned.
some canned laugh track.
That's what podcasts need, laugh tracks.
Oh,
Yeah,
We
we're gonna
cracked this
pioneer
nut
it.
wide open.
We did.
Oh,
We
man.
fix Hangover and we fix podcasts.
Yeah. All right. Well, that was a very interesting episode of Holy Fucking Science. Thanks for joining me. I have been. What did we fucking say at the end? Behind the camera today, we've had Caitlin Hofmeister, and behind the microphones.
We're behind the microphones.
Yeah,
we're
this
behind
is the part where we
we're
say
in
who
front
we
of
are.
the microphones. I'm behind your microphone.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
What a
Okay.
mess.
Yeah, this is
right.
all a mess.
I'm Sam.
I'm Stefan,
I'm Valerie.
I'm Julia.
and this is
Holy Fucking Science.
Holy fuck.